This is Tony. He's a self-made penniless boater. This is Sonia. She's gorgeous. She knows how to operate a lock. When they're together, it's murder.
Okay, take two.
Take two.
Just so you know, Sonia's been banned from moving it. Every time we go to switch it on, she moves it 2 centimetres to the left or 3 inches to the right.
The legs weren't straight.
The legs weren't straight. So, this is like our first attempt at doing a vlog. We've got lots of footage. We're kind of, how long into it now? Are we 4 weeks?
4 weeks, yeah. We picked the boat up on the 14th of February.
Right.
But you'll find out what we've done since then. But
Yeah, so it's pretty much a month actually. Exactly a month almost.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got lots of footage, but we need to link it together because we've not planned it at all. We just filmed stuff as we've gone, and it's a bit random, some of it, and some of it needs us to talk about it, and some of it doesn't, and all the rest of it. So this is kind of what we're doing. So we've watched loads of these, and we're always kind of fascinated by people's lives beforehand. So we're going to kind of give you a quick introduction into how we got here, basically. Not like the birthing sequence, but how we got here. Like, onto this boat now. Before we do, I do mention another one, but just in case I've lost that footage, the intro is my homage. Sonia said I could do the intro, so I did it. Grew up in the 80s, like I'm sure a lot of people watching this did, and it was a time of the best intros, like the A-Team and
Dukes of Hazzard,
$6 Million Man, all of those kind of ones where it tells a story at the start. So I've copied one of those things, not one of the ones I mentioned, but something from the 80s around about that time. So if you do recognise it, let us know. But I enjoyed doing it, and I'll probably change it to another one at some point if I'm allowed.
He was very pleased with himself when he did it. Very pleased with himself.
So,
how did we get here?
Yes.
Oh, it started, oh gosh, a couple of years ago. So we've been teaching for pretty much most of our adult life, so like 20 plus years, and then decided to move to China. And while we were in China,
why have we just moved to China, Son?
Why did we move to China? To teach, to carry on teaching. It was another challenge, things in teaching in the UK was becoming more and more paperwork based, and so it was a good time for us to do that.
Yeah, and we moved out to the country, to a lovely cottage in the country, and we suddenly started to see the difference between work and outside work. Is it the line became a lot clearer, and we loved living in the country, but then we found that our time at work was becoming more and more kind of, oh, this is what we have to do, and then, oh, brilliant, this is what we want to do, and then, oh, this is what we have to do. So it made us feel like there was something more out there for us.
So when we moved to China, it was lovely, fantastic experience, met some absolutely amazing people that I would consider now to be friends for life. Some fantastic friends from all over the world, and it was a really, really enjoyable experience.
We bought a house while in China, and I can't even tell you how difficult it was. But we got one, and we actually love the house. It's a beautiful house in Norfolk. It kind of it backs out onto fields. It's down like a little cottagey road, little villagey road, country lane, and in front of it is
it's the middle levels. So the house is actually on the middle levels. And it came with a mooring, which started us thinking about, well, we're going to buy a boat. And we thought, we'll get a day cruiser. And the guy we bought the house from, they had a Freeman 24, and he said he loved it. And we thought, that's something we'll do. We'll go away for weekends. It'll be perfect when we come back. And that kind of sowed a seed. Fast forward.
And then, so we're in China, COVID hit. We were lucky at first. We were in Thailand when it first happened, so we missed the chaos that was happening in China. We was like having a week away that ended up being about 5 weeks away. We was going cheaper and cheaper hotels because we were running out of money while we were there. And eventually we took the plunge. We went back to China, back to our jobs kind of thing. And it was weird because at that point China sort of relaxing things a little bit. We were able to go to the pub, we were able to go out shopping and all that kind of stuff. We were still going to work and there was no real big lockdown. Meanwhile, the rest of the world was on lockdown. So we kind of missed it all. But then gradually what happened is the rest of the world started coming out of lockdown and China started getting kind of a bit, how would you describe it?
A bit stricter with their, there were more restrictions being put in place because obviously they'd had zero COVID. So the zero COVID policy meant that there were periodic lockdowns and more track and tracing than had previously gone on, which made life a little bit more difficult. And people in schools, because you're seen as, you know, a very important job in China, if you work in a school or in an old people's home or a hospital or doctors, they really encourage you not to leave your city so you don't catch or spread COVID, which then meant a lot of the things that we went out to China to do, like travel around Asia, which we never got to do, we weren't actually doing.
Yeah, and even to the point that sometimes it would get where there'd be like a live band on at our local, the pub, a great pub, shout out to O'Reilly's, but 2 days before it was due to be on, you'd hear it being cancelled and that the pub was closed and it wasn't open again and you didn't know when it was going to open, or you'd go to somewhere that we like to eat or something, like a nice restaurant that we used to go to, and you'd turn up at the door and the door was shut and it was closed and you didn't know if it was going to open again. It was kind of getting like that. So we got to the point where we thought, right, the one place we could go was Shanghai. So we kind of thought we'll travel to Shanghai a lot. Shanghai's amazing. Shanghai is like middle of London, I guess, or New York type place. You know.
Beautiful, yeah, fantastic.
Loads of sports bars, loads of restaurants. We started to go there, and in the end, we couldn't even do that. But on one of those weekends in Shanghai, one of those very drunk weekends in Shanghai.
Very drunk weekend.
Well,
it was a bit boozy.
Yeah, we kind of just drank all day. We'd go to the Irish bar within the day. We'd go to some sports bars, some amazing sports bars in the evening, and we were kind of thinking about that our time to China maybe was coming towards an end. We didn't know how long. We was kind of thinking, you know, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, but we need to start thinking about what we were going to do. And our plan originally was we were going to kind of buy a flat with the money we made in China and then rent out the flat and live off the money from the rent in the flat and live in a nice place in Norfolk. That was our plan. It was a really good plan, we thought. But
yeah, it wouldn't be enough. So the idea being that we wanted to come back and not go back into teaching in the UK, and to do that we had to have a different plan. And we started talking about, wouldn't it be lovely, we have to do something, you know, we couldn't spend our days doing nothing. And we talked about the house and the boat, and that would be great to go off for weekends. And then it kind of evolved to, oh, we'll live on the boat, rent out the house, fabulous. But then you're living on a 24-foot Freeman day cruiser, probably not the best idea in the world. And then it just evolved into, well, narrowboats, they are built for living on, and we could just imagine touring the network of canals and rivers around the UK that will give us our interests that we love, the country that we love, and keep us busy in our retirement. And that's how it evolved. One busy weekend when all the best plans are made in a pub in Shanghai.
And so
here we are.
Here we are. And we basically, things happened at home, which meant we've kind of had to come back earlier than we thought. We thought we'd be there at least another 6 months. But we came back kind of for Christmas, and we've had to sort of stay, and everything's been pushed forward. Hence,
great though.
Yeah, hence us being on a boat. So yeah, I mean, it's worked out well, but it wasn't the plan.
Goodbye apartment. Goodbye high-tech zone. Goodbye Ningbo.
Flight back. This is Shanghai Airport International section. This isn't like an evening or anything. This is only about 5 o'clock maybe. Absolutely empty. No intel flights. I think there's about 5 going today, and we're one of them. All the shops are shut. Everything else, but we're on our way home. Can't wait.
So we left China. We were living in Ningbo, which is a massive city, 9 million people, but it's small by China standards. And yeah, we left Ningbo, came to the UK, and we went straight from the airport pretty much up to the Nantwich area, because when we were in China we were watching the videos, but we'd been watching boats on brokerage for a good long time, just watching them, how they were selling, where they were. And Tony made this magnificent map in his spare time.
We were obsessed. Let's be honest, we were obsessed. We were watching vlogs every day. Any blogs that we could watch, we could. Something to do impressions of all of them, and I will get to do some at some point.
No, I will not, because it's just I'm not very good. But yeah, we watched loads of them.
So who did we watch? Name someone.
Making New Memories, Life on Board Amy Joe, Heidi the Narrowboat Pirate.
Go on, do a Heidi.
No, wee I just want to cheers. No rum, I've got no rum. Loads.
So yeah, we was obsessed with that. I mean, even to the point we had like spreadsheets of the different boats we were watching and what the pluses were and what the negatives were and all the rest of it. So when we came back, we did have 2 boats in particular that we had been watching, and we had loads. We had this map travelling all around all these different brokerages, but we had 2 in particular we hoped weren't going to go. So when we landed, we got in touch with both of them, got bookings, one for one day, one for the next day, and off we went. So this is, what's this one called? It's Harjo, isn't it?
We're doing the sofa test.
Yeah, there's nice chairs, these.
Yeah, these are good chairs.
Just sink back into it. Right, pots.
Very nice. Let's go. Let's go open some cupboards.
Got a nice little dinette.
Dinette's lovely, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this is
that
really
one's
nice.
just out our price range. That one over there. Miller's door.
It's gorgeous, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's look nice. It's nice, a little hatch.
To be fair, the kitchen's really nice.
Yeah. We might want to change the worktops in time, maybe, but not.
Not straight away.
No. Let's do the
hatch.
paintwork.
Yeah.
Did see if it had thingy on it, solar. That's very nice. That's spot on for us. Quadrant shower. It's like tea towels or window. I'm going to carry on through some.
You go for it. I can't shut this bloody hatch.
This looks like a slight. The bed's really nice. And beautiful boat. It had everything we wanted. The only thing it had that we didn't want was a pump out toilet, but we didn't know really. That might have been fine for us. You know, we've got a cassette on this one, but who knows? That might have been okay. But basically, got gazumped. It was a bit weird.
Someone beat us to it. Basically, they were waiting to see us for us to view it, and and I think we put in an offer.
Yeah, we put in an offer.
Then somebody else had beat that offer,
Yeah.
so basically they got that boat.
And it was kind of a little bit dodgy. If to be honest, it was a bit dodgy. So what happened was we went to the brokerage, we won't see which one it was, and we were like, oh yeah, we love this boat. We really want to get this boat. He said, we'll go away and think about it. So okay, we'll go away and think about it. And I said, well, is anyone else interested? Oh, there was one person, but they're, you're here now, that kind of thing. I was like, okay. So we went away, we're like, let's put in a bid. And we put in what we actually know was a really good bid. It was, it was less, but we've since found out what most people do. Was it 10% less, did he say? And we did like nowhere near 10%, nowhere near like a couple of percent probably. So we put that bid in, didn't hear anything for ages, rang him back, and then he was like, oh yeah, no, the other people had already put in a bid, and you going to look at it has kind of pushed their arm a little bit, and their bid was slightly bit more than yours, so we haven't got any more. He was like, oh, thanks for that. Why, if you'd have told us they was putting a bid, we'd put higher. So we were very disappointed, but we had a lovely day out in Nantwich, beautiful place.
Yeah, can't wait to take the boat there, can we?
Walked along the canal, really enjoyed it, and we kind of thought, we can't get hung up over this. We've seen them come and go within China, and we still had this one that we was really quite hopeful for the next day. So next day was up bright and early, properly early, considering we'd flown back, God know how many hours?
2 days before, yeah. Well, it took us ages, didn't it? Did we?
Must have been about 20.
12 hours. We didn't transfer, did we? It was direct.
Oh right, yeah, no. So it's like 12 hours, but we had to get to Shanghai first, fly from Shanghai, then to London, and then we went straight up pretty much. Did we say one night and then go up to Nantwich?
We stayed one night and went straight up.
Yeah, so we stayed at
Premier
and then straight up to Nantwich. And so then the next day we were off, and it was near Derby where we went to see it. That must have been a Mercia, mustn't
It
it?
was Mercia Marina.
Yeah. So it was Mercia, biggest marina in Europe. Okay, so you can just picture it. We bowl up at this place. It's amazing, and we went down to look at it, and we loved it.
Oh. So we have storage under, TV unit.
It's a lovely boat.
I've seen so many of these videos I could make my own. I like the TV cabinety thing.
I'll just walk through and I'll get the video and then I'll come back.
The boat straight away, put an offer in, and which was accepted. We had to get the survey all sorted out, but it felt like it took ages, but that was purely because of Christmas and the New Year. But finally we got the keys to the boat, we moved in, and waking up that first morning was absolutely magical. There's any moorings available, fingers crossed. There were 2 at least, and we'll find a space tomorrow, and this is where we'll be coming from. That's where we'll be coming from. We're going to get some diesel from Street Hay Wharf on the right there, and then yeah, it's right as you look at it, and then hopefully put along through the bridge off onto our next adventure. Stay with us.
And it's literally how many long a cruise would it be?
Well, if you're on a straight line, it'd probably take about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, if that.
If that.
Depends on how fast you go. Obviously, we went a little bit like that.
Yeah, and the bloke pulled us out as well. So he took us out of the marina because
that was worrying.
Difficult, and we got all our fuel and everything, and then came out there. And he pointed us in the right direction, and we just went down. Probably only 5 minutes, really.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all, but it was a good first cruise ever. So neither of us had ever driven a narrowboat before. We'd done lots of research, and it was time to put theory into practice.
Yeah.
But we were heading off because the boat needed to be blacked.
That's right. So Sonia booked us in for Fradley Marina to get the blacking done, because it needed doing. It came up on the survey. So it was kind of, we'll just get that done as soon as we can, and then we can concentrate on just cruising kind of thing. So we kind of started heading off towards Fradley. We stopped at Willington. It was an absolutely beautiful place. Love it.
Run out. There she is. Needs a wash. But hey ho. Got the keys. This is Willington, where we're going to spend the night tonight. While we were at Mercia, we also took the opportunity to go into Derby to watch the football, because one of the things that we really missed when we were in China was actually watching live sport, and Tony's a proper big football fan, so we went to watch Derby play Charlton, which is really weird because Charlton would have been the team from our hometown. So we came from Greenwich originally, and so Charlton was our hometown team really. And then while we were there, small world, my son-in-law's brother-in-law, my son's brother-in-law, was watching Charlton, and Tony had several friends watching Charlton play in Derby that day.
Posted on Facebook, and I got like 4 or 5 replies from people who were in the stand next to where we were watching the game as well. And we met up with someone I've not seen for years and years and years, Paul Braddock. So it was really nice to meet up with him, and we had a few drinks in the sports bar, and then back to the marina, weren't we? And then we went off
to Willington.
Yeah.
And Willington was lovely. We spent a few days there, and then we had a plan. We're going to just take it really slowly and head towards Fradley Marina.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we just kept ploughing on to Fradley Marina.
Yeah. Fradley Marina, it was a nightmare trying to like go in and get a space. Basically, you go in Fradley Marina, it's a very tight entrance, and then it's a big expanse of water, and it was a really windy day, and we just kept getting blown over and blown over. It took us forever to get in there, and it kind of scarred us for a little bit. We're just about over it now, but we were thinking it was going to bash into the side of something, and it was terrible. It was terrible.
Just didn't want to hit anyone else's boat. That was the thing. I was like proper worried about that. But the guys there were great. They came out, pulled us into the pontoon using the ropes, gave us a bit of advice for getting out.
Yeah.
And fabulous for them. It's a difficult place to get to by road, but was it Dean? It was really great because he drove me to my car and picked me up when I needed it to go and get it again. So that was really, really helpful. So thanks to guys at Fradley Marina.
Yeah. The car's been something actually that has been tough. We've got a car. Basically, Sonia's boy Jack has had a baby, James Brown. And obviously we want to be able to get back quite regularly, so we've kept the car with us until the summer, but it's not what we planned for, and it's been quite tough sort of working out, going this way, getting a train back and everything, so that's a whole nother story. When we got to Fradley, and the blacking was all done, and we just literally went round the corner on the contrary, pulled up, and it was beautiful. What a lovely spot. It was right by the
Fradley
Swan
Junction, just past the water point on the Coventry Canal.
Yeah. And we went into the Swan and had a few drinks.
In the most photographed pub on the network.
And it was brilliant.
Great. And we are moored just down there.
If you've made it this far, thank you for staying with us. You probably deserve a medal.
There aren't any. Sorry.
As I always said at these sort of videos, if you have enjoyed it, then please like and subscribe. Would be fantastic.
And you can always click the bell icon, and YouTube will notify you when we upload a new video.
We've watched so many of these. One thing we'll say is the vlogs will get better, obviously, because we've just thrown a load of footage together and linked it all up. Really, at the moment, we are doing these for us. This is supposed to be like a video diary, but if you want to come along on the journey with us, it'll be fantastic. And we're probably going to do them sort of once a week and try and stay really up to date, so it's pretty much in real time. Is what we're hoping it'll be. Maybe like a couple of days behind, something like that.
Yeah. We don't want to lose too much time to editing, don't we? We want to spend our time enjoying the canals as well. So it'll be that kind of a vlog coming forward.
Exactly, and there won't be any like fancy camera work probably. No. Sonia does try sometimes, but I'm the one who edits it, so I'll just bung it in there, and it will probably look really clumsy. But she does try to get the odd clever little shot. So if you see that, that will be Sonia. But we won't do any of those ones. You know where you see people go running past their camera as they have the camera shot, and you know they're going to just turn around just up the road and have to come back to get their camera before someone nicks it. So there won't be any of that, I'm afraid. So
Anyway,
yeah, thanks for watching. This is normally the stage where people do their clever little catchphrase. We haven't got one. We're not going to do that loads, to just do catchphrases. So until next week, good luck, and we'll catch up with you soon.